Hey, what's up everyone? It's Giorgio, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and I'm here with another wrestling pay-per-view review, and this time is for Wrestlemania 35, and I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to contain that 5 hour or 6 hour show in under 15 minutes, but I'm going to try to do so because I don't want to keep you out here long, and I'm pretty sure you got a lot of stuff to do since it's a Monday, and it's 9 a.m. as I record this. So I have all my notes here, so I have everything all together, but hope you all are doing well, and also I want to say thank you to everyone who not only takes the time to watch these videos and leave a like or whatever, but I want to thank the people who take the time to leave comments, because it really means a lot to me. I love the feedback, or just to say that hey, you enjoyed the video, that you were entertained by it. I really value that, and I love going in the comment section and replying to every last one of you as much as I can, and because that to me is the coolest thing about being a YouTuber. But anyways, enough of the mushy crap. Let's go and get into this review. And my goodness, it starts off with Alexa Bliss as the host of the show, and then she invited Hulk Hogan out there, and it was pretty cool to see Hulk out there, opening up the show with Alexa, and then they did this cool pose off, and you are gonna see Alexa featured throughout the show, and you can tell that Alexa really wanted to be a part of this show in terms as an actual in-ring performer instead of just hosting it. Alexa should have been out there wrestling. And I hope by this time next year Alexa Bliss will be actually on the card, wrestling, somebody, in a high-profile singles match. She should not be in no tag team or some stupid battle royal, that a lot of people just don't care about, like that. She should be featured on the main card. But anyways, and then as Hulk Hogan and Alexa Bliss was posing and stuff, Paul Heyman, he comes waltzing out there all pissed off and mad, and he just walks to the ring in the fastest way that we've ever seen him walk to the ring. And then he says, him and Brock are mad because Brock and Lesnar's match is not in the main event, so he said, let's get this, Universal title match, over with. So then, Brock comes out there. At first I thought this was just them playing around, but they were serious. Of course, it all turned out that Brock had a strategy of attacking Seth Rollins before the bell even rung, and it was a cool strategy. And also, I like Seth Rollins' new attire that he had. I thought that was really cool, what he had on, the black and gold and stuff. He was just ready to win. But Brock Lesnar, he definitely dominated Seth Rollins. He tore his back up, man. Like, Seth Rollins' back looked crazy bad, but he's all in good spirits and he got through over the announcer's table. He got slammed through the top part of that announcer's table. He didn't go through it though. He didn't go through the actual announcer's table though. Just that little platform thing that was on the top. But after that, Brock Lesnar tried to go for an F5, but of course Seth Rollins pushed him to the ref, which then he hit Brock with a low blow, and then he hit him with 3 curb stomps for the win. And my goodness, that was pretty crazy. But then so it was cool to see Seth finally win that Universal title, and hopefully they'll do something cooler with that belt, because honestly that belt just doesn't appeal to me. I wish they would bring back the big gold belt. And then the second match, you had AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, and one of the things I noticed in this match was that the fans just didn't seem as into it. Like, they were chanting all kinds of crazy stuff that had nothing to do with the match, and because it's in the MetLife Stadium, because it's in this big outdoor stadium, you really can't tell who what the fans are saying, who they're rooting for. If they're booing, you can't really gauge the crowd, and I think that can be very difficult on a wrestler because you don't know if they're enjoying your match or not. But I can look at the fans' faces, and it seemed like they were just sitting there. They wasn't really into the match like that. Of course, when AJ started doing his moves and stuff, they started getting into it. AJ Styles, he won. The match was okay. Could have been better. It seemed like it was missing something. I don't know. Maybe because of the crowd. Who knows? But anyways, then you had Lacey Evans. She goes out there prancing around with her Southern lady accent and all of that. It's crazy. But anyways, I don't know what they're doing with her character. Probably nothing. Then you had the match 3, which was the Usos versus Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, Aleister Black and Ricochet, and Sheamus and Cesaro for the SmackDown World Tag Team titles. And the match was it was actually pretty cool. And Sheamus, he was doing those little 10 hits that he does to people's chest. He did that to everybody in the match. I thought that was really cool. Aleister Black and Ricochet, they look great. I really love seeing Aleister Black's entrance at the WrestleMania stage. I thought that was pretty cool. He definitely has something really eccentric and unique about his character. He should not be in no tag team. Aleister Black should be in big time singles matches, and I think he's capable of having them. But of course, the Usos retained, and they retained the SmackDown World Tag Team titles, and it was a really cool match. I liked it. I thought it was good. And then of course we had The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, this probably was match of the night. I mean, they really, stole the show with their performance. Everything was right. Shane, what was funny was Shane McMahon had the ring announcer say his name and restart his theme song 3 times. And I thought that was so funny. And then Shane, of course, during the match, before the match starts, I believe, he had dogged out The Miz's father, and then of course that allowed him to blindside The Miz, because The Miz got all overly emotional, and which allowed and then I think Shane put his hand in The Miz's dad's face. And then after that, the Miz starts destroying Shane. He beats his ass all over the arena, which led to them fighting on top of this 15-foot high camera setup thing, which was just insane, and then of course the one move that ended the match, which I thought it was a cool way to end the match and continue the feud, because The Miz ended up suplexing Shane off this 15-foot high camera setup platform through a table, and it was crazy because Shane, he landed on top of The Miz. So that was just awesome, man. I really enjoyed that match from bell to bell, and I guarantee that definitely, in my opinion, was match of the night. But and then they had the women's 5. I think it was this was match 5, the women's tag team title match, which was Beth Phoenix and Natalya versus Sasha Banks and Bayley, and Nia Jax and Tamina. And I really like that Beth Phoenix and Natalya had Heart Foundation attire on, and then they had Bret Hart accompanying them to the ramp, which I thought that was really, really cool. I'm so happy that they did that. And speaking of which, I know you guys probably heard about what happened at the Hall of Fame where that fan attacked Bret, and then you had Travis Brown, which is a great MMA fighter legend. He came in there, he took care of him. And then you had Dash Wilder, who hit that attacker right in the face as they was carrying him out of the arena, carrying the attacker out of the arena. And then David Hart Smith, he was out there and he was really getting that guy. So shout out to those people for protecting Bret Hart, during the Hall of Fame thing. And a lot of people were saying that maybe that was staged. I don't know. It might have been. Who knows? Who knows if that whole thing was staged. If it is, then shame on WWE if that was. But I think it was real, But I know people saying this stage because, ROH had a show the following night or whatever. But it is what it is. I'm glad Bret's okay, And but of course, in the women's tag team title match, Beth and Natty, they look great together. They did good. Of course, the Iconics. Oh yeah, I forgot the Iconics definitely were in this match, and they won. They won the women's tag team titles. They capitalized on the fact that Beth Phoenix took out Bayley with the glam slam, and all they had to do was just throw Beth out the ring, and then they were able to procure the Raw or the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, and they were crying and everything. It was actually pretty cool to see, them win because, and I think they're annoying as heels, but that's what heels are supposed to be. You're not supposed to like them, and but in this case, you can't respect the Iconics because they came a long way. They really did, and at least they're out there trying. They're trying to improve themselves, and you gotta give them a chance. You gotta give them an opportunity. If it works, it works. Then we had match number 6, the SmackDown World Tag Team Title match. Actually, no, the SmackDown World Heavyweight Title match. My bad. Oh man, this show, by this point, I was just spent. It's a long show. I'm still trying to recover from this long ass fucking show. But anyways, yeah, it was the SmackDown World Title match featuring Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. And guess what, you guys? Kofi Mania has prevailed. Kofi Kingston is your SmackDown World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know why I get them so mixed up. All you can do is laugh. And believe me, there's going to be some more mess ups when you see Batista's entrance. Hey, at least he laughed it off just like I'm laughing it off. It's early in the morning. I'm not a morning person for the matter. So I wanted to get this doggone thing out the way, But yeah, Kofi Kingston won. The match was pretty decent. It was pretty, it was pretty decent in my opinion, And of course, Kofi had his kids out there and everything. It was a really cool, feel-good moment. The crowd erupted. Daniel Bryan, he had some good offense in that match too. So I was really happy with that. They did really well. And of course, you had match 7, which was Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the U.S. title. This match ended quick as hell, you guys. I think Rey Mysterio, he started off strong, he hit the 619, he tried to go for the frog splash, but as soon as he tried to go for that, Samoa Joe put him in that Coquina clutch, which is a rear naked choke move, and he just made Rey Mysterio go to sleep. I think I've heard that Rey Mysterio was hurt, so going into this match, so maybe that's why they had the quick finish, but who knows. All I know is it made Samoa Joe look like a legit beast and threat, which he is. So it's gonna be cool to see what Samoa Joe does going forward with that US title. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we have match 8, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. And McIntyre, he showed some crazy athleticism and strength in this match. He headbutted the hell out of Roman. Roman even was managed to fight back and put him in this trio wall move in the corner. But of course, And right as Roman was going to try to stomp on him, Drew McIntyre used his great lower body strength to lift himself up and superplex. Well, actually, he just tossed Roman off the top rope, that was a really cool moment in the match. And of course, after that, Drew McIntyre got overconfident. He slapped Roman, which woke up the sleeping beast in Roman Reigns, and then that allowed Roman Reigns to just fight back. He did some, his typical little moves that he does, and then he hit that devastating Superman punch, and he hit Drew McIntyre with a crazy spear for the win. So, it was cool, it wasn't a bad match. It was just, a way to get Roman back out there, I guarantee he's going to be featured in a big time, even bigger time match at the next WrestleMania, because he's going to get back into that world title picture someday soon. But from there, we had a segment with Elias, and he was playing the drums, the piano. Of course, that was pre-made footage. And then, we got this cool little what is Babe Ruth MLB footage, which him hitting his last home run or something like that. And of course, he was greeted with the greatest version of John Cena, which is the Dr. Thugonomics character. And I'm so happy they brought that character back, because to me, that's what made me a fan of John Cena. Was that Dr. Thugonomics character. It was really cool how he captivated the audience. His raps, how he would diss his opponents before matches, that made him so exciting to see. And I just didn't like what they did with Cena, and after he dropped that character, I was like, dang, man. Everybody loves that character. People were chanting Cena during the segment with Elias, and then he hit Elias with the FU, which in my opinion sounds way better than the Attitude Adjustment. So I'm glad that version of John Cena is back. I'm definitely gonna watch that segment again because I like that character. And of course, we even had Scott Hall and Kevin Nash in this really cool, funny segment after Braun Strowman destroyed those Saturday Night Live hosts in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So that was pretty cool. And then after that, we have match number 9, which was Triple H versus Batista. And we had Shawn Michaels on commentary, which I thought Shawn Michaels was going to probably get involved, but he didn't. And the crazy thing, or funny thing, I love Batista. I'm a big fan of Batista. I've even met him before, and y'all seen my pictures with him, But, he slipped on the way getting into the ring with his entrance. He had like this movie star entrance or whatever, but I guess when he got in the ring, he slipped over the rope, and I liked how he played it off. He laughed it off and everything, and even with the referee and the announcers, he kind of laughed with them about it. At least he didn't get mad, because hey, we all slip and fall. We've seen runway models slip and fall, and they get right back up and keep on going. If you can laugh at yourself in the moment like that, then it becomes easier to deal with, because then you're not fazed by what anybody else says. And let's face it, Batista haven't been in the WWE ring since 2014, when he was with Evolution facing off against the Shield. So I give it a pass. I give it a pass because he hadn't been in the ring long. But it was funny, and he laughed about it too. I don't know how he slipped. I think he was just so excited to be in that ring, and he probably just got in there a little bit too fast. And so it is what it is. Of course, Triple H always got to have the best entrance or whatever. So he had this really cool Mad Max themed entrance, and he even had the same car that you saw in that entrance video. He had that in you know, when he came to the ring, and I thought that was so cool, you know. So I thought I really dig that, you know. And this match started off very brutal, you know. Triple H, he used some pliers on Batista's fingers and twisted them, and then he used another set of pliers to pull Batista's nose ring out of his nose. It was graphic. You gotta watch that, you know. I would definitely recommend watching this whole match, or this pay-per-view, you know, in pieces, of course, because it's so long. But of course, you know, Batista, he got some sort of offense in, you know, after Triple H, he hit him with a cool spear through the announcer's table. And, you know, Batista, he tried to, you know, come back and do some big moves and stuff. He hit the Batista bomb, and he was going to use the sledgehammer on Triple H, but then Ric Flair came in at the last minute and gave Triple H the sledgehammer of his own, and then he distracted Batista long enough so that Triple H could use the he jumped on these ring steps and hit Batista in the head with the sledgehammer, which then he hit him with the pedigree for the win. So it was pretty cool, and that's typical, you know, Ric Flair and Triple H helping each other, you know. Then we had match 10, which was Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin won, you know, and a lot of people were mad about it. A lot of people felt like Kurt Angle should have had a better opponent, and you know what? And as I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Maybe that's how Kurt wanted to go out. Because you would think a wrestler has a say-so in what happens in their last match. And usually, like, when a wrestler leaves, they always put over the person that's going to go on. Now, maybe Baron Corbin shouldn't have been that person, because a lot of people don't care about him. And I don't know if anyone is going to be talking about Baron Corbin in the next 10 years from now or whatever, you know. No one really cares about the guy, like his character like that. So I think a lot of people wish it would have been someone else, but who knows? Maybe, but like I said, I think Kurt probably wanted to go out that way. So match was it was what it was. Kurt got his signature moves in and stuff. So, you know, he's done, and you can do about it. And then we had match number 11, which was Bobby Lashley versus the Demon King version of Finn Balor. The version of Finn Balor that we all love. We do not like the smiley Finn Balor. I think they should just get rid of that character. I think it should just be the Demon King going forward, or at least just have the Demon King version of Finn Balor for every pay-per-view. Like, that's the person that whoever has to try to take that Intercontinental title from him, they should have to deal with that character, you know. So the match was cool, you know, quick, straight to the point. Lashley hit this really dope spear to Finn Balor to the outside of the ring. Then he hit him with a second one, but of course the Demon King kicked out. And after that, you know, he had this crazy offense. Then the Finn Balor powerbombed Bobby Lashley and hit him with that coup de grace, which is this jumping little curve stomp move for the 1, 2, 3. And so there you have it. Finn Balor is the Intercontinental Champion. And then I really liked that match. It was cool. You know, they definitely, this show, it was literally almost 11:30 or something when this show was coming to an end and stuff. And you know, I was like, goodness, it takes so much out of you. Like I said, that's why I was stumbling earlier on my words, because it's so much to cover, it's so much to watch. And then they had R-Truth and Carmella out there with their little 7 second it was a 7-second dance break. God, if it was a 7-minute dance break, I would have just turned it off at that point. But it was 7-second dance break that they did, so yeah, whatever. You know, R-Truth's very entertaining though. I like him. Then we have the final in the main event. Which was for winner take all, the Raw and SmackDown Women's World Heavyweight titles, and Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte. And it's really cool because Charlotte, she had a helicopter bring her to the arena, kind of like her dad when Ric Flair got a helicopter that brought him to I think it was the Great American Bash. He had a helicopter bring him there, and so that was cool, And she had a great entrance. Charlotte always has some cool entrances at these big time pay-per-views, and it was really dope. And then Ronda Rousey, she had a live, the rock band that does her entrance theme. She had them actually there in person playing her entrance theme as she came to the ring. So that was pretty cool. I always like it when they have the rock band or whoever does their entrance theme play them to the ring. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. And I would have had that for my entrance too. And of course, Becky Lynch came out there, and she looked it so good with that attire that she had. It was really awesome. I hope that she'll wear that attire again. It's really cool for her character. And it's black and yellow and everything, and her hair was on point. She was just on point for that whole match, And Ronda Rousey, she took this crazy bump when she tried to do an armbar on both of Becky and Charlotte, and then of course Becky was able to get out of it. Then she drop kicked Ronda in the back, and Ronda landed her hip or her butt or whatever landed on that apron. Then she took this nasty fall to the outside of the ring, and that definitely didn't look cool. I know that probably had to hurt, but Ronda, she kept going, and then she was calling Charlotte a bitch, and she said you chop like a bitch or whatever, and it was so funny, man. This match was it was really good. I think they delivered on what they had to do, especially with how long this pay-per-view was going. The fans were definitely depleted until this match came along, and the problem with these shows is you got so many people. You want to make sure everyone has enough time to tell a story in the ring, and I think they did a good job telling the story in this match. Of course, the way Becky won was Ronda Rousey. I think she was trying to go for that Piper's Pit type moves, like a fireman carries type of move, and I think Becky was able to use Ronda's momentum to roll her up on her shoulders for the 1, 2, 3, and she definitely had Ronda Rousey's shoulders on the mat. And so she was able to do that, and Becky got the win, and I know Ronda, she was pissed, and everybody think that this is real, but honestly, I think it's a part of the whole thing. Obviously, we're gonna see Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey in a one-on-one match. It's gonna happen. I don't know exactly when it's gonna happen, but it will, and it'll just. I hope they don't do another triple threat match. I'm tired of seeing triple threat matches. Just keep it one-on-one for a while. Because they always doing that with people, throwing them in these multi-person matches that no one really wants to see. But we all wanted to see this match, and it definitely delivered, in my opinion. It really did, and I'm happy with the outcome. Everyone got what they wanted on the pay-per-view. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, they won the Raw Tag Team titles. So it was a great show overall, and honestly, I have no complaints. Actually, yes, I do. The staging could have been a bit better. I think the fact that they had these huge LED boards, it looks cool with the graphics and stuff, like the video graphics they have, but honestly, I think they could have been a little bit more creative with the staging area for the show. But hey, maybe they don't want to spend too much money on it because they know they got other shows to do. But hey, it is what it is. You know, I enjoy Wrestlemania. I enjoy watching it with my dad, and I don't know if I'm gonna watch Monday Night Raw. I'll try, but I'm tired and I don't really give a fuck, anyways. But I'm sure it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. I'm sure some crazy stuff gonna go down, and So hey, but thank you all for listening to this. I know I exceeded the 15-minute mark, but hey, you can watch a little of this and I'll be happy with it. Just leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of whatever that you saw from the show, and I'll reply to that. Leave you a heart on your comment, and we'll go on with our day. And the next videos won't be as long, I guarantee you. But thank you all for listening, for your love and support, and I will see you next time. Have a blessed day.